Zoos and aquariums are some of the most visited attractions every year, with over 700 million people visiting them worldwide each year. That is about 1 in 10 people go to a zoo or aquarium each year. Zoos are a place that serve many purposes. The main purpose that they attract over 700 million people a year is they provide great and fairly cheap entertainment. Many zoos try to get rid of the idea that they are just entertainment by providing classes to learn about animals, and mostly by saying that they get valuable data and are saving animals and species that are about to go extinct. Great way to get people to visit and very convincing. I would want to visit a place that is saying they are trying to save animals and species, but I would not want to visit a place where I'm shushing animals out, supporting the harm of animals, and a place where I could possibly be injured or killed or cause the animal to be killed. In reality, this is exactly what zoos are doing, whether you're aware of it or not. When people go to zoos, it is mainly because it is something fun to do with friends and family. You get there and you get to see all these amazing animals that you typically do not get to see in day-to-day life. And there is a very good reason and simple reason that we do not get to see these animals in everyday life. They're not supposed to be here, and they are not here for a reason. The best reason being that God did not put them in certain places because they were not meant to be there. For example, an elephant that is native to Africa or Asia is not supposed to be in America. We simply do not have the right terrain and climate to support an elephant. Animals are meant to be kept where they are native to. Like elephants are native to Africa and Asia, then that is where they should be. Zoos have more physical impact on animals than what the general public is aware of. When we visit zoos, we don't pay attention to how animals are behaving. We look at these animals in all of their beauty for a minute, and then move on to the next one. When you keep walking, come across the elephants, and stay to watch them for a few minutes, you might notice that one or all of them start doing the swaying back and forth thing and throwing their trunk around uncontrollably. Onlooker's immediate reaction is, "Oh, so cute." Yes, it is cute, but you can mean one of two things. Get out of my way, I'm mad and will hurt you, or I'm bored out of my mind and have nothing better to do than sway back and forth and throw my trunk around everywhere for fun. People don't realize that swaying and throwing their trunk means they are mad or bored. Once people do realize that, it becomes a little more terrifying that you are standing in front of the biggest land mammal with a very slight movement, it can kill you. You keep walking through the safari of the zoo and come to the lion's enclosure. You see these massive cats that it is mind-blowing to look at. You stand there and see one of them starting to chase its shadow on the ground or its trail. Once again, the main reaction is awe. These are signs of extreme boredom, and you do not want to come face to face with a bored lion. These lions are used to being able to migrate and move in as much space as they want. In zoos, on average, lions have about 18,000 times less space than what they would occupy if in the wild. If you think that is bad, polar bears specifically, have 1 million times less space than they would in the wild. For comparison, that is like taking a person's average sized house and putting them in a house that is 0.149 square feet. 0.149 is 18,000 times smaller than the average house in the US. Along with zoos being unsafe and harming for animals, they are also very unsafe for visitors as well. Each year, nearly 2,000 people are killed in animal attacks. Many of these deaths are preventable if people would follow rules and not be stupid. Many of these deaths do come from animals in the wild, but most of the deaths are of humans' fault. A lot of people like to go and help animals when they think they're in distress. What they don't realize is that the animal they think they are helping is getting ready to protect itself, its territory, or its pack, herd, or group, and it will take whatever means necessary to protect. There are also people that are being dumb and trying to get the perfect selfie or trying to pet the animal. But on the other hand, there are the freak accidents that happen when the animal gets into a place it shouldn't be, or gets scared, or you're out hiking, or out for a walk and you spook something and attacks. These situations are hard to predict, and you should just be aware of the animals in your area and what to do if one attacks. In zoos, many animals are killed because of humans and no fault of the animal. For example, the very controversial Harambe. Harambe was a 17-year-old western lily and silverback gorilla. He was in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo in Ohio. He was on display when a 3-year-old boy fell into his enclosure. Harambe, acting like a gorilla should act, began to protect the child and take care of him. The gorilla had no intent in harming the child, but the only way that would seem fit to get the boy away from the gorilla was to kill him. This sparked huge controversy because the gorilla was killed because of something that could have easily been prevented 2 ways. The parents could have been paying better attention to the child, and the zoo needs to secure their enclosures better. This is one of many examples why animals have to suffer because of people's stupidity and lack of knowledge. If people would gain more knowledge and become more aware of the dangers, then there would be less accidents that happen. It has long been said and said by every zoo that their main goal is to make awareness of all species and save animals. Some zoos have been successful in saving a species from becoming extinct, but most of the time it's not successful. The sole purpose of the zoo is to gather information and data on animals and to learn about them, and then turn that data into useful information to try to save species. While some zoos are successful, like Taronga Zoo in Sydney, Australia, at breeding and releasing corroboree frogs, most are not. When animals are bred and raised in captivity for a lengthy time, they become used to human interaction and come to like humans. This is really bad because when they are released into the wild, they do not have the instincts to survive like they should, or if they are near any civilization, they will either want to be with humans all the time and become a nuisance and get killed, or they will capture them and sell them in the illegal pet trade for someone to have as a pet who knows where in the world. Zoos can also be successful in teaching people ways they can help animals other than through zoos. There are many ways to help, like giving donations to conservation groups that protect animals from poachers, volunteering to protect, alerting authorities to illegal activity involving or affecting animals, and sponsoring animals. When sponsoring an animal, when you sponsor an animal, you get to pick an animal that lives in a protected land, and you make a donation to the organization, and that money goes to keeping the land protected and it pays for people to guard it. Sponsoring, or also called adopting a wild animal, is one of the best ways to help an animal in the wild and let it stay where it is suited to be. In the end, humans were created by God in God's image to rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Genesis 1:24-26. God put us here and in control of the animals. He did not put us here to harm the animals and be wicked toward them. The righteous cares for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. Proverbs 12:10. We need to understand that animals' needs and put them above our entertainment. We need to stop being stupid to get the perfect selfie, and we need to raise awareness to help animals stuck in captivity and get them back to the freedom and where they really belong.